Hey guys, I'm psyched today because this finally came. Heads up, it's not actually drone related, and I know most of you guys are here for the FPV drone action, and we will go flying later, but so skip ahead if you want. But in here is a car part, so we're talking cars for a little bit today because I've been working on a project, and this is the final piece. Oh, it looks so good! This is a freshly rewrapped steering wheel for my car. We got fresh leather, we got custom stitching, and I am psyched about it. I've been working on a complete interior makeover for my car for, since September? Oh my God, that's well over 4 months that I've been messing around with this stuff. But we're gonna finish it all up today, and I'm really excited to get this in and reveal to you what we got going on inside the vehicular. But before we put this in and before we show you everything that has gone down, let's go back apparently months ago and take a look at how it started. So I got this car back in 2013 with every intention of modifying it, and one of the things that I immediately didn't like about it stock was the interior. I did not like all of the red accents, the red stitching. I just don't think it goes with the overall look. So something I always wanted to do was change all the red stitching to either like a blue or a silver. Obviously I went with silver in the end. As it turns out, someone at Toyota must have also thought that would look good because a later model years, I think 2017 and up, there was optional silver stitching instead of red. So this whole thing started because I stumbled across someone online that was selling like the OEM seat covers for a really good price. And so I said, you know what, something I've been wanting to do, let's go for it. And I've never, by the way, actually stripped and reupholstered automotive seats, but it is pretty crazy. There's so many like little things that you have to get into. It took a really long time to do all the seats. We're at that point where we've got before and after. It's looking really good. It's looking really good. Like the stitching, like the Alcantara stuff. Yes. But that was really just the start because there is red stitching everywhere in this car. Like the doors have it in all sorts of different places. So I was able to kind of a combination of find also 2017 pieces that I could swap onto my door panels, as well as having some custom pieces made for the upper door trim, and eventually the shift boot, the e-brake boot, and this steering wheel finally. Since I was basically going to be pulling the entire interior apart, I thought, let's paint some stuff too, because the trim pieces were this really bland, generic silver, and because the exterior of the car is a much more interesting silver, I thought it would be cool to paint match it, which would bring the exterior more kind of into the interior, tie it all together. I love the way the painted pieces came out. I do think painted interior pieces can look tacky, but I think with it being the silver color and having it kind of match the stitching in a sense, it came out really nice. So I mentioned the interior lighting stock was this orange color, and I just hated it. Changing that is pretty complex. You actually have to take all the pieces out, open them up, and the LEDs are soldered to the boards themselves. So I had to desolder surface mount LEDs and solder on new ones. Went with white to keep things looking really clean. We had to do everything, the climate control, the door handles, the buttons in the center, and of course the gauge cluster. And I love the way that the gauge cluster with the new LEDs came out. But before I even finished this, as I was looking into gauge cluster stuff, I found that another improvement on the later model years of this car was an upgraded gauge cluster that had like an LCD built into it, so you could display all sorts of cool things. And that kicked off a real nightmare thing. Alright guys, it's pretty late, as it tends to be when I get to work on some of these car projects. And I haven't really recorded much any of this particular project because I wasn't sure it was gonna work. What I'm trying to do is retrofit a newer version of the gauge cluster into my car, and I think we might be getting there. So what I did is I bought a newer version of the cluster, and it's not quite as simple as plug and play. So I desoldered this chip. The reason I did that, I got this little chip out of there, is because this chip stores information that works with your particular car, like showing the correct mileage and having the temperature units display and having the right graphics display. And it all depends on what car you're plugging it into. It's not like there's any user interface that decodes this. We end up having to interface directly with the bits on the chip. Now to get into this, I had to get like a EPROM chip reader, and I have to take this chip and solder the chip to this little adapter, plug this little adapter into, it's still hot, into this interface, and then I can actually read the chip with this crazy piece of software that's literally half English, half Chinese, and start stabbing away at the bits. So what it's come down to is finding other people that are as insane as me online doing the same thing and getting their flash and my flash and comparing the results and just changing different lines in the matrix here and then soldering it back into the car and plugging it in and seeing what you get. So now I've had this chip in and out of the cluster and the cluster in and out of the car so many times, and I think we're finally about to do final installed check. We've fully put back together the gauge cluster, so all the screws are in, the needles are installed, everything, the trim pieces are put back on. So double checking it, fingers crossed. Yes, we got the right graphic, it's the right temperature, got the mileage. Dude, it just looks so good. So pleased with that. What else is there? We did the reupholstery, we did the paint, we did the LED color change, we did the cluster retrofit, threw in a weighted shift knob while I was at it. I think that's it. Let's put in that new steering wheel to finally finish up this project. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, wow. guys, I am really happy with how all this came out. Everything just kind of comes together, looks really nice together. I really like how the painted pieces, kind of pull the outside in. I'm just like so much happier to be in the car. And there's already some other stuff that I've been kind of thinking about doing in here, but I'm going to pry myself away from just doing interior cosmetic mods, because this was something I wanted to do for a while, and there's other stuff that I've always wanted to do to this car. So we're gonna get to some of that other stuff. Hopefully some things that actually enhance performance. How about that? Not just stuff that looks good, but this does look good. I'm psyched about this. Anyways, that was a fun little photo shoot, getting all the B-roll of all this. Hopefully it comes out nice. Now I'm on my way back home, and we're gonna swap the car for the truck, because like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to get some flying in today. So let's swap vehicles and go to a flying spot. All right, we've made it to the spot. As psyched as I am about car stuff right now, had to take the truck. It's like the ultimate FPV machine. We got the ladder, we got the stick, we got so much room for activities. Sean's here. I think some other people might be joining, and we're gonna have ourselves a good fly session. This is one of the go-to spots, always a good time. Psyched, Sean? You ready to rip? You ready to rip?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to rip? We are just about done with this session. The sun is gone. We've burned all the batteries and just had a great time. I always have a good time at this spot. And oh, he's up. Sean's still getting it. A little bit more light for another flight or two. But yeah, I just have a good time at this spot, and definitely like was into it today. Totally got carried away on some stuff. There were like 3 batteries that I flew all the way down to 9 volts, which means I probably ruined them. I also destroyed a GoPro. So yeah, it was kind of rough, but totally worth it, because I was just like super into it and like pushing and trying stuff, and I just kind of felt like I was on today, like I was flying pretty good. But anyways, I you know, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun to, you know, do another car project or series of projects, and you know, share that, because it's something I used to be really into, and I think I'm getting more into it again. So I'll probably make some more car project videos, and hopefully while we're at it, maybe we'll get some new people checking out the channel, because we're doing some different stuff. So if you happen to be someone watching one of my videos for the first time, and maybe you came here because we were doing something with the car, welcome. This is FPV. It's the greatest hobby. Cars are fun, but this is awesome. So if you have no idea what this is, but you think it looks interesting, and I don't see how you couldn't be interested in this, definitely check out some of my other videos. Check out Rotor Riot. It's a really great time. So guys, thank you for hanging out. I look forward to seeing you next time, whether it's a drone adventure or a car project or just whatever other fun thing that we're getting into and making videos about. So whatever you do, do it with passion and persevere.